The year is finally over. I have a lot to say about 2025 in Raid Shadow Legends.
Shoot him, Kevin.
Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, probably many days too late at this point. I know that you guys probably would prefer for something like this to come out like right before the new year, but the holidays get very busy, and I was working really hard at work trying to achieve my personal or my professional goals. So I wasn't really able to record a lot of this type of content. I finally have some time, so we're going to go ahead and tackle it. I really wanted to take a look at 2025. Now I'm going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about the stuff that meant a lot to me. We're going to stay positive on this video. We're not going to talk about any of the downsides. There were some. Maybe I might throw in a tiny one or two. But I really want to acknowledge what Raid did, because I think if we look back at Raid, we're going to look at the second half of 2025 as a transformative year for the game. And the reason I feel that way is they did so much right in the second half of 2025. And it's really important that we recognize their successes. If all we ever do is focus on the negatives and the downsides and, oh, I didn't like that and I didn't like this, and we're just so negative, then that's not enough feedback for the developer to really say, you know, what did we do right? If we shine a big bright spotlight on the things that they did right, then they can hopefully emulate that. Now, does Plarium have a history of this? No. Next year could be worse than the year before. Anything can happen, but I do want to highlight a lot of the pros, at least for me, and I'm not probably going as far back all the way to January of last year. I'm just going to kind of focus on the things that I like, that are relevant to me in the moment as we talk. First and foremost, the biggest improvement to this game, period, is getting rid of gear removal cost. Massive improvement. That's going to be on everybody's video that they probably made talking about the end of 2025. But that will by far be one of the greatest things to ever happen in Raid Shadow Legends. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril, as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Should it have happened a long time ago? Sure, but that's not what we're here to talk about. The fact that it happened at all should speak volumes to you. Now listen, this video is going to come across as me being a shill for Plarium, but I'm really not. I try to keep my content positive, more so just for you guys. Like, I don't know, there's so much negativity out there. I try not to spread too much of it, but I will voice my opinion when I am disappointed in something. Getting rid of gear removal cost is something that is great, and it is a massive decision that I'm just still, in months later, still in disbelief that they even did it in the first place, because they said it was never gonna happen. And I really want that to be like, I hope that we look back several years from now and refer to that as the turning point in Raid Shadow Legends, where they became a little more community forward. And I would be very excited to look back and see that as a turning point in the game. So I really have to give that a big shout out. It's just such an improvement. I've seen multiple people in my comments section. I've seen multiple people on Discord. I've got new people, not new people. I've got old people that have come back to the game, all because of the getting rid of the gear removal cost. So I think that's awesome, and I can't say enough good things about it. So that by far is my favorite thing of 2025. Then we're gonna move on to the Turtles collab, and I really want to shout out the Turtles collab. I said this many times when we first started talking about it. If they do this, they need to give us guaranteed ways to get at least the turtles. And they did that. They didn't have to do that. I've talked about this many times on the channel. One of my most impactful champions on my account is Desertqueen, and I had to spend a lot of money to get her because there was no free way to get her. And so I want to acknowledge that. I'm glad that we were able to get at least the turtles. And furthermore, the one that we weren't really able to get for free, like we had to, pull some shards and stuff. Thankfully, he wasn't that good and didn't really synergize with the turtles and any of that. So, as a player, I didn't mind missing out on him because he wasn't OP or broken. And they even kind of put us in a position where a champion like April, like I can clearly see I did not get April because I wouldn't have wanted her for the nostalgia factor. She, as young boy being a fan of this content, April O'Neil was not at the top of my list of favorite characters in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Now, if it was Casey Jones, I would have gone all in and then would have done the Titan event, but I skipped that event so that I could manage to get the other turtles seemingly well. And they deserve a lot of praise for that. They could have put things behind a big paywall. We saw it with Alien versus Predator. We saw it with I say big, but they could have put it behind a paywall. And the fact that they made them all 4 turtles available through in-game events is admirable. Were some of them a little expensive? Absolutely, yeah, right? No sugarcoating. But as a whole, we should recognize that how they approached that event, and that could have been an easy way to fumble it and be like, hey, Leonardo, yeah, $50, right? And people would have been pissed. So I was a huge fan of the event. I loved how many relics I got from the event. I got multiple mythical relics from it, which was really cool. I was very happy to see that. I'm trying to find them in my inventory here, of course. I got the heart, and then I got, it's the turtles one, which would be down below. That's why. And then I got this one, Zippia's Servitude. So I was really happy to get a whole bunch of mythical relics finally. I say bunch, but that was a bunch to me. So yeah, I want to shout that out. As a whole, I really appreciated everything about the Turtles event. Let's be real, there is one thing I didn't like, and that's the lack of communication regarding Leonardo. That could have been handled better, but if that's our only complaint, think about old Plarium, I'll take that, right? Like a little bit of lack of communication, but they did say it's coming, so they did confirm that, just left us kind of hanging and FOMOing and all that stuff. But I am ultimately glad with the way that they kind of did that overall. Next, I have got to talk about Grim Forest. I've made so many individual videos on Grim Forest that, I do feel a little bit bad to again bring this up and shout it out because it's just so good. It's just so good. And I really, again, I want to point out what makes it so good. I really think we should acknowledge this is a very giving part of Raid Shadow Legends. If we look at other areas of the game, so City of Centranos. City of Centranos has great rewards, but requires so much more from the player. You need to have played for a long time. You need a super deep roster. You need very specific champions in some cases just to clear a room. It's not fun. And this is, in my opinion, even better than Doom Tower. And the reason I say it's better than Doom Tower is because I feel like the bosses are doable without a niche. So what do I mean by that? Think about Bommel. Guys, I've been playing this game for a long time. I still use a Lady Annabelle to beat Bommel, right? Like, I'm not building, I feel like that's, if people are like, hey, I'm struggling on Bommel, what do I do? Yeah, pull Lady Annabelle or the other dude that does this the similar thing. Oh yeah, just go get this champion. It makes it really easy. Well, cool, but I don't have that champion. What else can I do to beat this area? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I couldn't do it without that champion, right? No, guys, you're gonna hit me in the comments and be like, what are you talking about? There's a million different ways and strategies to beat Bommel. I know that there are. I'm telling you that for me, the easiest way to do it was to just build Lady Annabelle. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys, right? So it's really satisfying to have different approaches and to solve the problems with strategy. I was able to formulate a strategy with their limited roster, right? So what I mean by that is, especially on my free to play, I was able to put in a bunch of champions that that are really good on my account, that I have put gear on and put energy in and put books in, right? And then I was able to take on these challenging levels. And in those challenging levels, they give me a limited portion of that roster. And they say, yeah, you're not going to get your horse. You're not going to get your Newt or a Crizia, right? You're not going to get your best support. No, Elva, no. We're not going to give you Senna. You're going to have to use your Pythion. Pythion's great, right? But he's not Senna. He's not Elva. You're going to have to use, I always forget this guy's name, right? But yeah, you have to use Nishak, who's great. But would I prefer something other than Nishak as my boss damage dealer? Absolutely, right? So I get put into a position where I have to use champions that I wouldn't normally use, but not in a way that isn't fun, right? I didn't have to build an epic champion just to beat this stage. I didn't have to build a legendary champion that sucks everywhere else in the game just to beat this stage. I got to use my roster, the champions that I like and I've had fun building and I've had fun investing in, and I got to use them in a different area of the game, and it was made logical sense to use them to complete that. So that right there is just fun for me. The other thing is that the rewards are incredibly good. Up to this point, for me, I have no consistent way to get mythical materials for relic crafting. Some of you are probably saying, oh, Chimera. I don't care about trials. Trials isn't fun to me because, again, you're putting limitations on my roster, not to do more damage and beat the boss. You're putting limitations on just to get extra rewards. Not fun for me. I don't enjoy the trial system. I don't think I ever will. I just want to do as much damage as I can to the boss to help me succeed in the clashes, right? So I want to succeed in the clashes. That matters more to me than placing poisons on the boss before, or whatever the trials are. I don't look at them. I don't care. I just build the same team. You can clearly see here. I'm sorry, that's not me. Oh, Vodka's gonna see that and laugh. But yeah, I put the same team together every rotation to maximize my damage, and that's all that I care about. So for me personally, I wasn't getting a lot of resources to craft mythical relics. We get an average of 100 a month. 91 is on the low end. My free to play actually is higher than that, which is kind of cool. But I think that's, while I would prefer it to just be a flat 100, I still think it's really, really good that we will get access to those relics over time and get chances to get really good relics on our account. Very, very excited about that. There's a mythical book practically free. There's a new gear set, again, that is free. I mean, it's free because you don't need to build specific champions. And I don't have to farm this place. One of my biggest pet peeves about Doom Tower and the bosses is having to go back and farm the bosses if you want. So thinking specifically about like the one boss that's really important to farm, which is, oh God, what is her name? I am not going to remember her name right now. Will this remind me? Dark Fae. There we go. I was like, I need to find a word that's going to remind me. Okay, so yeah, Dark Fae is a boss that I have to put on farm. The problem is that she can be frustrating and kind of RNG and difficult. So it can be annoying sometimes where like I have a run fail and I'm like, I don't really know what went wrong with it. Who cares? Just run it again. But then every single day I have to remember during that time, I got to remember to log in and run my Dark Fae and on both accounts and make sure I'm getting all the resources to craft the gear. I enjoy that for Grim Forest. we play it, we get what we get, and we move on to the next week. That for me is actually a little bit more satisfying than having to repeatedly farm over and over and over and over to get a chance to craft a good piece. So I like that. I actually really, really do like that. I noticed I have one spot in here that I haven't done yet. So yeah, I mean, I love that. The rewards are great. The requirement that's placed on the player is minimal. I did this all on my free to play. It took me a lot longer than my main account. I was able to progress. I was able to utilize my roster, utilize champions in some cases in ways that I never would have expected to use them. It was just fun. And it takes me back to the days of Doom Tower, where Doom Tower gave really good rewards and didn't require much from the player. This did not require a huge investment. It requires an investment of time, but I didn't have to build specific champions just to beat that boss. So I didn't have to build a Lady Annabelle, right? And so, yeah, I just love it so much. I love the rewards, and it's given me something to do. So that's going to be it for today's video. I know that those are all kind of like towards the end of the year things. They were all so good, so satisfying for me as a player to experience them. Other areas of the game that they've introduced have been very frustrating as a player. I don't like limitations on my roster that are arbitrary. I like them being like, yeah, take, 30 of your best guys, put them in this list and show us what you got. So it gets to be champions that I know how to use, champions that I've invested in, and all of that. And it's just so enjoyable for me, so much more so than Cursed City, which I still really am not a big fan of, if I'm honest. So shout out to Grim Forest, shout out to everything Raid has done. Please, Raid, keep this moving forward, because a happy player base is going to keep this game going, and it makes me so happy to see. So all right, I hope you guys like that video. A little different than what I normally do, but I did want to kind of comment on my favorite things of the year, and I think I'm probably going to come up with a video for things I'd like to see moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to support my channel, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.